Besides the obvious luxuries of fast cars, mansions, and beach houses, what do you fantasize about when you imagine being super rich? A home theater. Screw mansions, cars or any of that stuff. All I want is a really nice home theater to watch movies. If I was rich I wouldn't even buy a house. I'd buy an old theater and convert an upstairs floor into living space. I've always thought this. When I'm a homeowner the most important thing will be that it has somewhere I can have a nice movie set up. My roommate is moving out soon and by then I should be making enough to turn their room into a small theater. Being able to start any hobby I want without worrying about being able to afford it. I mean, at the minute I can't even afford a PS4 to play, let alone something like, I don't know, ice sculpting. I'm completely guessing that ice sculpting is expensive, by the way. If you live somewhere icy, it costs about the price of a chisel. Paying off my student loans. Basically I fantasize about being debt free. Traveling where I want when I want. Being able to just jump on a plane, go somewhere without plans and just get a hotel without reservations. Being able to just jump on a plane. Being able to just jump on your plane. I don't feel like doing whatever. I'll pay some chump to do it. That means we're chumps crap. The luxury of time. Being able to, without any qualms about crap I have to get done to survive, sit in a hammock and read a book on a day like today. Handmade clothes. All clothes I own are tailored especially to fit me out of my preferred fabrics. I can grab anything out of my drawers and it all looks good together. And shoes. Shoes made to perfectly fit my feet. Not having a job. I really don't give a crap about the stuff. Just to retire with security would be great. You know, guacamole is extra. Yeah, I know. Expensive tomfoolery. I would steal all of my dad's ladders, go to the Lowe's and the Home Depot by his house and hand out signs to the management saying do not sell ladders to this man with a picture of my dad. Then I would put a giant inflatable gorilla on the roof of his house. Then I would pay off his mortgage. The only reason I know you aren't Bam Margera is that you said nothing about building a giant ramp to take a skateboard over the gorilla. I worked for an extremely rich woman once, as an intern, for a summer. Here is what I found out. What is truly fantastic about wealth is not fur coats and diamonds. It is two things, convenience and beauty. First, everything in your life is planned out just for you. Breakfast is made, just as you like it, and ready when you want it. Your clothes are always in perfect condition, ready to be worn. You have a driver, who always has the car ready and waiting, and you never, ever have to spend time looking for a parking space. When you need to buy clothes, the store sends you a large selection of items they think you will like. You try them on in your home and have your assistant send back what you don't like. Need to buy some gifts? Same idea. Traveling? Private planes so you can avoid the annoyances of commercial travel. This kind of thing beats having an expensive car any day. And about beauty, what I mean is that you can set up your life so you are totally surrounded by beauty. Fresh flowers everywhere. Everything always in perfect condition. Clean, polished, shining. Breathtaking art on the walls if you want it. Gorgeous views from every window in every house you own. It is these things that I really remember from my time working for her. It's funny, but it seems like the end game is to be wealthy enough to live like a toddler. Having a greenhouse with a stream and a swing inside it, also lots of plants. If I was super rich, I always loved the idea of just going to random houses' families and giving them X amount of money. Nothing huge but enough to make their year somewhat easier. $20,000 would be worth it to see their reactions. If someone gave me $1,000, I don't think I would stop crying from gratitude. Extensive travel and super high-end dining. So from the time I was a wee lad I always wanted a blimp. My family has joked about this enough that being super rich in our house is referred to as blimp money. While there are a myriad of uses for a blimp, I'll list my top 2. 1. Remember that butthole from middle or high school that you just can't stand? Well, now you can float above their house with a giant neon sign that reads Nick is a big bag of dongs or Karen is an ignorant twat waffle for the whole world to see. 2. Let's say you're hitting on a girl at the bar. Guy in front of you says, hey girl, let's go back to my apartment. You button and say, how about I take you to my blimp? Now this on its own probably won't work unless you are picking up the scraps at the end of the night. Imagine though that you take a step onto the back patio or out the front door and she picks on you about not seeing the blimp. Then a rope ladder falls from the sky. Till I want a blimp. Not working. I couldn't care less about the luxury crap. I just want to not work. This right here. Nothing I can buy is as valuable as my time. A decent house in a decent neighborhood with some good biking infrastructure and trails in the area is all I really want. Some skiing nearby would be nice as well. I basically have those things now, but not nearly enough time to use them. Paying for my parents' retirement. A computer with 3 GTX 980 Ti's in SLI. Why not 4? Rebuilding the baseball fields of the outer boroughs of New York. I am poor. I'm from the Bronx. I've played on some of the worst fields in America, and I don't want the next generation of ball players to have to play on crappy fields like Red Hook, American Legion, and even the parade grounds could use a redone playing surface. Ideally, if I ever become rich, I'd bulldoze over each of those fields and redo them the right way. I wish I had that when I was younger, and I wish I have that now. I want to start an initiative with the Nick Parks department to do this. Elaborate practical jokes. I'd hire 5,000 people, give them each $1,000 to spend in a Walmart store and just buy everything on the shelves. A week later, after the store has replaced all their inventory with new merchandise, send all 5,000 people back to return everything they bought. Starting my own city. I want to pick a nice spot on a major river, buy up huge tracts of land and then start building infrastructure, fiber networks, solar roadways and a solar and wind farm. If you build it, they will come. Staying a student. You learn awesome crap and you have the most freedom in your life. When I would be done with physics, I'd start with chemistry, maybe some mechatronics on top of that. Conducting large-scale very expensive science and social experience. Is it possible to cause rain by boiling massive amounts of water? What happens if every resident in the most crime-ridden communities receives $1,000 a week for 5 years? Utterly ridiculous Richard Branson-style engineering projects. I wanna build acroplane yachts, flapping sail-powered airships, and balloons that harvest lightning. I just need enough money to do these things despite how completely wasteful they would be. Control and F. Airship. Thank God at least one person here is on my level. Help others. Philanthropy is the most underrated luxury ever. Short on cash for that grocery? Here's some cash. No sponsorships for college? I can help you with that. Saw a malnourished stray cat feeding her kittens? Feed the whole strays in your area. Nothing brings me more joy than seeing the people and other living things I helped being happy. By feed you mean spay and neuter. Feeding strays just makes more strays. Personal trainer. I'm really into fitness and would love to afford someone who can make me better at it. Mine would be a personal dietitian. I know how to work out, I just can't sustain healthy eating as much as I should. New socks. Every day. Nothing is better than new socks. Obligatory. New socks have chemicals that will freak up your feet if you don't wash them up first. Paying my student loans. Donate to various charities that deal with animals and kids. Pay for kids' tuitions whose parent cannot afford it but the kid is intelligent. Overall try to make others happy. Also one really big Snickers bar. We, my family, help 2 really great orphans with their tuition and residence from high school to university graduation. Can confirm. Best kind of charitable act ever. Ps. The cost of education in Iran is considerably less than US. Normal people stuff. Going to my kids' soccer games, throwing them birthday parties, taking them to Disneyland, giving them a chance to travel and exposure to the rest of the world and a solid education. Basically giving them the opportunity and resources that I didn't have as a kid, but at the same time, teaching them the value of hard work and perseverance which makes their lifestyle possible. Fill a vault full of gold coins and then dive into it like Scrooge McDuck. This kills a billionaire. Peace and quiet. Owning a mansion on my own island with an enormous library and good computer system. Spending the rest of my life reading, playing, programming, alone. Buddy of mine is a web dev from home. It's pretty much the same stuff but with a bungalow on a rural road. Easy. Not having to worry about bills and being able to afford amazing food all the time. You people are really obsessed with socks. Mostly I want to not work. I can buy lots of things now, but with a job, 2 kids and no time those nifty toys just end up being decorative. And my decorator sucks. Sleeping in until about 9 AM, then heading to the local Timmy's for a coffee, then running errands while other people are at work. Then I come home, have a snack, and do some yard work. Later that day I hop on my bike and go for a 25-mile ride. Come home, take a shower, and eat dinner. What a dream. Scrolling through the Steam store and only seeing in library. I have always fantasized about renting a helicopter and making it rain, but instead of real dollars it's scroot bucks. I'd buy a crap load of land, in the right place, and turn it back into native wetlands. Sure, the environmental benefits are nice, but really I want to tell people to get out of my swamp. Clothes that fit me perfectly. I just don't want to have to worry about having a home, or food, or clothes, or paying for school supplies and social events for my children. That's really it. I could be a multi-billionaire, and I'd likely just put aside enough for those things, then start judiciously applying the rest to charities. Knowing that my time is now truly mine. Buy surplus military equipment, ships, trucks, helicopters, etc., and make a disaster relief organization. Run it like a military but used only for humanitarian operations. Funded by donations, but mostly by my imaginary bottomless coffers. I would build a zoo-like building that replicates a rainforest. It would have exotic flora and fauna, birds, sloths, bats, frogs, a whole ecosystem, with a rain system too. I would sit on a bench in it and just watch nature being nature. You have been visited by the chunk of good fortune. Like this post to enable good fortune for 26 minutes. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.